The unexpected encounter. The vast expanse of space stretched out before the UES Resilience, humanity's most advanced warship to date. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded her. The ship had been on a routine patrol mission in the outer reaches of human-controlled space, but there was nothing routine about what they had just encountered. "Status report," Chen barked, her voice calm despite the tension that crackled through the air. Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel, the ship's science officer, spoke up. "Captain, we're detecting an unknown vessel approximately 500,000 kilometers off our port bow. It's massive, sir. At least 10 times our size." Chen's eyebrows furrowed. In the century since humanity had taken to the stars, they had yet to encounter any alien civilizations. The prospect was both thrilling and terrifying. "Open a channel," she ordered. "Let's see if they're friendly." As communications officer Lisa Wong worked to establish contact, the rest of the bridge crew held their breath. Humanity had prepared for this moment for decades, but now that it was here, no one quite knew what to expect. "Channel open, Captain," Wong announced. Chen cleared her throat. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth Ship Resilience. We come in peace and wish to establish friendly contact." For a moment, there was nothing but static. Then, a deep, rumbling voice filled the bridge. "Unknown vessel, this is High Commander Zarkon of the Imperial Warship Dominion. You have entered Zarkonian space. State your intentions or be destroyed." The crew exchanged nervous glances. This wasn't the warm welcome they had hoped for. "High Commander," Chen replied, her voice steady. "We apologize for any intrusion. We were unaware this area was claimed territory. We are on a peaceful exploration mission and would be honored to engage in diplomatic discussions." There was a pause before Zarkon's voice boomed again. "Exploration. Your vessel is clearly armed. Do not insult our intelligence with lies, primitive species. You will power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Resist, and we will show you the true might of the Zarkonian Empire." Chen's mind raced. The Resilience was indeed armed, but it was standard protocol for any deep space mission. They weren't looking for a fight, but it seemed the Zarkonians were spoiling for one. "Tactical status of our defenses," Chen asked, turning to Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez. "Shields at full strength, Captain. All weapon systems operational, but currently powered down as per first contact protocols," Gonzalez reported. Chen nodded. "Keep them powered down for now. We don't want to escalate this situation." She turned back to the comm. "High Commander Zarkon, I assure you we have no hostile intentions. Perhaps we could arrange a face-to-face meeting to discuss." Her words were cut off as the ship suddenly rocked violently. Alarms blared across the bridge. "We're under attack," Gonzalez shouted. They fired some sort of high-energy particle beam. Shield holding at 92%. Chen's expression hardened. So much for diplomacy. "Gonzalez, power up weapons. Helm, evasive maneuvers. Let's show these Zarkonians that humanity isn't to be trifled with." As the Resilience banked hard to starboard, avoiding another blast from the Zarkonian ship, Chen couldn't help but feel a mix of disappointment and determination. This wasn't how she had imagined first contact, but if it was a fight the Zarkonians wanted, it was a fight they would get. The Resilience's engines roared to life, propelling the ship into a complex series of maneuvers that would have been impossible for vessels just a few decades earlier. The advancements in inertial dampening technology allowed the ship to pull off turns and accelerations that would have liquefied an unprotected human crew. "Return fire," Chen ordered. "Target their weapons systems. Let's see if we can disable them without destroying the ship." Gonzalez's fingers flew over her console. "Firing quantum torpedoes, Captain." The space between the two ships lit up as the Resilience launched a barrage of advanced weaponry. The torpedoes, guided by an AI that could make adjustments in microseconds, weaved through the Zarkonian defensive fire and struck their target with pinpoint accuracy. The bridge crew watched in awe as the massive Zarkonian shift shields flickered and failed under the assault. The torpedoes, designed to penetrate hardened targets, burrowed into the alien vessel's hull before detonating. Direct hits on their primary weapon emplacements, Gonzalez reported, a hint of surprise in her voice. Their offensive capabilities are severely diminished. Chen allowed herself a small smile. The resilience, despite being much smaller, was proving to be more than a match for the alien behemoth. Hail them again, she ordered. As Wong worked to reestablish communications, the Zarkonian ship launched a counterattack. A swarm of smaller vessels, each about the size of a fighter jet, poured out of launch bays and headed straight for the Resilience. Point defense systems online, Gonzalez announced. Activating laser grid. The space around the Resilience came alive with a web of high-energy beams, tracking and destroying the incoming fighters with ruthless efficiency. Those that made it through the initial barrage found themselves facing the ship's close-in weapon systems, a mix of railguns and plasma projectors that turned the attacking craft into space debris. High Commander Zarkon is responding to our hail, Wong said, her voice cutting through the tension. On screen, Chen commanded. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing an alien bridge that seemed to be in chaos. Smoke filled the air, and officers could be seen scrambling in the background. In the center stood a tall, reptilian creature with iridescent scales and 4 arms. His eyes, vertical slits of deep purple, burned with a mixture of rage and disbelief. Impossible, Zarkon hissed. No primitive species should possess such technology. Who are you really? Chen stood tall, her voice firm. As I said before, High Commander, we are humans from the planet Earth. We did not come here seeking conflict, but we will defend ourselves if attacked. I ask again, can we not resolve this peacefully? Zarkon's eyes narrowed. You have bested the finest ship in the Zarkonian fleet. This is unprecedented. He paused, seeming to wrestle with his pride. Perhaps we have been hasty in our judgment. I'm glad you see it that way, Chen replied. I propose a ceasefire. We can render assistance for any wounded you may have, and perhaps we can begin proper diplomatic discussions. The alien commander was silent for a moment, his inner eyelids blinking rapidly. Finally, he nodded. Agreed. But know this, human. The Zarkonian Empire is vast and powerful. This defeat will not be forgotten. As the communication ended, Chen turned to her crew. Well done, everyone. But I have a feeling this is just the beginning. Contact Earth Command. They need to know that the galaxy is a lot more crowded and potentially a lot more dangerous than we thought. The Resilience held position, its crew watchful and wary. They had won this first encounter, but as the adrenaline of battle faded, a new realization set in. Humanity had just announced its presence on the galactic stage in the most dramatic way possible. What challenges and opportunities would this new era bring? Only time would tell. As repair crews from both ships began their work, diplomats prepared for tense negotiations, and scientists eagerly analyzed the wealth of new data. One thing was clear. The human race had proven itself a force to be reckoned with among the stars. The Battle of Proxima Centauri. The news of the Resilience's encounter with the Zarkonian Empire spread through human space like wildfire. Within days, the United Earth government had mobilized its entire fleet, preparing for what many feared would be an imminent invasion. Captain Sarah Chen and her crew found themselves hailed as heroes, but the weight of their actions hung heavy on their shoulders. 2 weeks after the initial contact, alarms blared across the Proxima Centauri colony. A massive Zarkonian fleet had appeared at the edge of the system, far larger than anyone had anticipated. The colony's meager defenses wouldn't stand a chance. Aboard the Resilience, now part of a hastily assembled defense fleet, Captain Chen surveyed the tactical display with a grim expression. Status report, she demanded. Lieutenant Commander Patel's voice was tense. We're detecting over 200 Zarkonian vessels, Captain. At least 50 of them are capital ships, including what appears to be their flagship. It's 3 times the size of the one we encountered before. Chen's jaw tightened. The human fleet consisted of just 30 ships, with the Resilience being the most advanced among them. The odds were not in their favor. All hands, battle stations, Chen ordered. This is not a drill. We are the first and last line of defense for Proxima Centauri. If we fall, Earth will be next. Let's show these Zarkonians what humanity is made of. As the human fleet took up defensive positions around the colony, the Zarkonian armada approached with ominous purpose. The comm system crackled to life, and a familiar voice filled the bridge. "Attention, human vermin." High Commander Zarkon's voice dripped with disdain. "Your victory in our last encounter was a fluke, nothing more. Surrender now, and we may spare your pathetic colony. Resist, and we will crush you utterly." Chen didn't hesitate. "This is Captain Chen of the UES Resilience. We will not surrender. This colony, this system, and all of human space are under our protection. If you want them, you'll have to go through us." "So be it," Zarkon snarled. "All ships, attack." The space between the two fleets erupted in a dazzling, terrifying light show as energy weapons and missiles crisscrossed the void. The human ships, though outnumbered, fought with a ferocity that seemed to catch the Zarkonians off guard. "Helm. Execute Maneuver Theta 3, Chen commanded. "Tactical. Prepare to deploy the Shimmer." The Resilience broke formation, diving towards the Zarkonian fleet at breakneck speed. Just as it seemed the ship would collide with the enemy, it vanished in a flash of light. Aboard the Zarkonian flagship, alarms blared. "High Commander," an officer shouted, "we've lost track of the human vessel." Zarkon's eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible. Find it." But the Resilience was already striking. It reappeared behind the Zarkonian lines, its weapons blazing. The Shimmer, a revolutionary cloaking device that bent light and other forms of radiation around the ship, had allowed them to slip past the enemy's defenses undetected. "Fire Quantum Cascade," Chen ordered. The Resilience unleashed its most powerful weapon, a stream of particles that phased in and out of normal spacetime. The beam cut through the Zarkonian ships like a hot knife through butter, their shields useless against this strange new technology. As the battle raged on, the rest of the human fleet put their own unique technologies to use. Gravity manipulation devices created localized singularities that swallowed entire squadrons of enemy fighters. Nanite swarms infiltrated Zarkonian ships, disabling systems from within. AI-controlled drone ships performed maneuvers that would have killed organic pilots, confounding the enemy's targeting systems. Despite the incredible display of human ingenuity, the sheer numbers of the Zarkonian fleet were taking their toll. Human ships were falling, their crews making heroic last stands to buy time for their comrades. "Captain," Patul called out, his voice strained, "I'm detecting a power buildup in the Zarkonian flagship. It's like nothing I've ever seen before." Chen's mind raced. They needed to end this, and fast. "All ships," she broadcast to the fleet, "focus fire on the flagship. Whatever they're charging up, we can't let them use it." The remaining human vessels converged their fire on the massive Zarkonian ship. Shields flickered and failed under the onslaught, but it wasn't enough. A blinding light began to emanate from the flagship's bow. "Brace for impact," Chen shouted. The Zarkonian superweapon fired, a beam of pure destruction that carved a path through space. Several human ships were vaporized instantly. The Resilience, caught on the edge of the blast, spun out of control. "Damage report," Chen demanded, pulling herself up from the floor. "Shields are down. Hull breaches on decks 4 through 7, Gonzalez reported. "Weapons are offline." "We're sitting ducks, Captain." Chen looked at the tactical display. The human fleet was in shambles, and the Zarkonians were pressing their advantage. It seemed like all hope was lost. But then, something unexpected happened. The Zarkonian flagship, after firing its superweapon, seemed to lose power. Its lights flickered, and it drifted aimlessly in space. "What's happening?" Chen asked, bewildered. Patel's fingers flew over his console. "It looks like their weapon overloaded their systems. They're vulnerable." A fierce determination burned in Chen's eyes. "This is our chance. All functioning ships. Concentrate everything you've got on that flagship. Engineering, give me weapons, even if you have to reroute life support." The remaining human vessels, battered but unbroken, unleashed a final desperate assault. The Resilience's weapons came back online just in time to join the barrage. Missiles, energy beams, and exotic particles converged on the Zarkonian flagship. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a silent flash that lit up the entire system, the massive ship exploded. The shockwave rippled through the Zarkonian fleet, disabling or destroying many of the nearby ships. Confusion reigned in the enemy ranks. Without their flagship and high commander, the Zarkonian attack fell into disarray. Some ships continued to fight, while others began to retreat. "This is Captain Chen to all Zarkonian vessels," she broadcast on all frequencies. "Your flagship is destroyed. Your invasion has failed. Withdraw now or face total annihilation." For several tense moments, the battle hung in the balance. Then, slowly but surely, the Zarkonian ships began to disengage. Within an hour, they had vanished back into the depths of space, leaving behind a graveyard of destroyed vessels from both sides. As the adrenaline of battle faded, the true cost of the victory became clear. Half of the human fleet was destroyed or crippled. The Proxima Centauri colony had suffered damage from stray shots and debris, but they had held the line. Humanity had faced its first true interstellar threat and emerged victorious. "Send word to Earth," Chen said, her voice heavy with exhaustion and emotion. "The Zarkonian invasion has been repelled, but they'll be back. We need to prepare." As the Resilience limped back to the colony for repairs, the crew knew that nothing would ever be the same. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage, but at a terrible cost. The Battle of Proxima Centauri would go down in history as the day everything changed, the day humanity truly became a spacefaring civilization. The stars, once a source of wonder and exploration, now held new dangers. But they had also witnessed the incredible potential of the human spirit. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them head-on, with the same determination and ingenuity that had saved them this day. The Galactic Council's intervention. In the weeks following the Battle of Proxima Centauri, the human race found itself thrust into a new era of galactic politics. The news of their victory against the Zarkonian Empire had spread far beyond the borders of known space, catching the attention of a power humanity had yet to encounter. The Galactic Council. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of the newly repaired UES Resilience, watching as a ship unlike any she had ever seen materialized in orbit around Earth. It was massive, easily dwarfing even the largest Zarkonian vessels, yet it moved with a grace that defied its size. Its hull seemed to shimmer with colors that shouldn't exist in normal space. "Captain," the voice of her XO, Commander Jackson, came through the intercom. "We're receiving a transmission from the alien vessel. They're identifying themselves as representatives of something called the Galactic Council. They're requesting permission to send a delegation to the surface." Chen took a deep breath. This was it. Another first contact, but this time on humanity's home turf. "Inform Earth Command. Tell them I recommend we grant their request, but under heavy security protocols." Within hours, the world watched in awe as a shuttle descended from the alien ship, landing in a specially prepared area outside the United Earth Government headquarters in Geneva. Captain Chen, along with key members of her crew and Earth's highest-ranking officials, stood ready to greet the visitors. The shuttle's door opened with a soft hiss, revealing beings that defied easy description. The delegation consisted of 3 individuals, each seemingly from a different species. The leader, a tall, willowy creature with iridescent skin and multiple arms, stepped forward. "Greetings, People of Earth. It spoke, its voice resonating in a way that seemed to bypass the ears and go straight to the mind. I am Salar, High Arbiter of the Galactic Council. We have come in response to the recent conflict in this sector. Earth's president, a stern-faced woman named Elena Rodriguez, stepped forward. Welcome to Earth, High Arbiter. We are honored by your presence. I am President Rodriguez, and this is Captain Chen, whose actions brought our species to your attention. Kazaler's gaze fell on Chen, and she felt as if her very soul was being examined. Ah, yes, the one who stood against the Zarkonian fleet. Your actions have caused quite a stir in galactic affairs, Captain. Chen straightened her posture. We did only what was necessary to defend our people, High Arbiter. Indeed, Kazaler replied, a hint of amusement in its voice. And in doing so, you've upset a delicate balance that has existed for millennia. The Galactic Council must now decide how to proceed with your species. President Rodriguez's eyes narrowed. Proceed. I wasn't aware our species was up for discussion. We are a sovereign people. The second alien, a bulky creature covered in what looked like living stone, rumbled in a deep voice. A sovereign people who have demonstrated the ability to defeat one of the galaxy's oldest empires. Surely you understand our concern. Perhaps, Chen interjected, we should continue this discussion in a more suitable venue. There's clearly much we need to learn about each other. The third alien, a being of pure energy contained within a translucent shell, pulsed in agreement. A wise suggestion. Let us convene your leaders and discuss the future of humanity in the galactic community. As the delegation moved to the conference room, news of the alien arrival spread across the globe. Humanity held its breath, knowing that their future among the stars hung in the balance. Inside the conference room, holographic displays came to life, showing the vastness of the galaxy and the complex web of alliances, treaties, and power structures that made up the Galactic Council. Zaler began the briefing. For over 10,000 of your years, the Galactic Council has maintained a delicate peace among the major powers of our galaxy. We have overseen the development of countless species, guiding them towards peaceful coexistence and shared prosperity. And where was this guidance when the Zarkonians attacked us? Chen couldn't help but ask. The stone-like alien, who introduced himself as Krotak, answered. The Zarkonian Empire has long been a problematic member of the galactic community. Their expansion was meant to be checked by other powers, maintaining a balance. Your species was not expected to possess the capability to resist them so effectively. President Rodriguez leaned forward. So, you're saying you used us as a buffer zone? Left us to fend for ourselves against a known aggressor? The energy being, calling itself Epsilon, pulsed rapidly. It is not so simple. Non-interference in developing civilizations is one of our highest laws. We could not directly intervene without risking greater conflict. And yet, Kazaler continued, your victory has changed everything. The Zarkonians have retreated to their core worlds, licking their wounds. Other powers are now eyeing your region of space with great interest. Some see potential allies, others see threats to be eliminated. Chen felt a chill run down her spine. Are you saying we're now targets for the entire galaxy? Not necessarily, Kazaler replied. But you are now players on the galactic stage, whether you're ready or not. The Council must decide how to integrate humanity into the existing power structures without destabilizing millennia of careful diplomacy. President Rodriguez stood, her voice firm. We did not ask for this attention, but we will not shy away from it. Humanity has fought and bled for our place among the stars. We will not be pawns in your galactic games. Krotak rumbled in what might have been laughter. Spoken like a true emerging power. But understand this, your technology, while impressive for your development stage, is still centuries behind the most advanced council races. You would not survive a concerted effort by multiple galactic powers. Then what do you propose? Chen asked, her tactical mind already racing with possibilities. Zaler's form seemed to shimmer as it considered the question. We propose a probationary period. Humanity will be granted observer status on the Galactic Council. You will be provided with limited access to Council technology and knowledge, under strict supervision. In return, you will agree to certain restrictions on your expansion and military development. The room erupted in heated debate. Some saw this as an opportunity for unprecedented growth and learning. Others viewed it as a thinly veiled attempt at control. As arguments flew back and forth, Chen found herself thinking of her crew, of the battles they had fought, and the lives lost. She thought of the wonder and terror of first contact, and the universe of possibilities that now lay before them. Finally, she spoke up, her voice cutting through the chaos. High Arbiter, members of the Council, and my fellow humans, we stand at a crossroads not just for our species, but for the galaxy as a whole. We have proven ourselves capable of defending our homes, but we must also prove ourselves worthy of the galactic community. She took a deep breath before continuing. I propose we accept the Council's offer, with one condition. We want the right to continue defending ourselves and developing our technology. We will share our advancements with the Council, and in return, we ask for protection against unprovoked aggression. Hitler and the other Council members conferred silently for a moment. Then the High Arbiter turned to Chen. Your proposal is not without merit. It will need to be discussed in detail, but it could form the basis of an agreement. President Rodriguez nodded slowly. We will need time to consult with our global leadership, of course. But I believe Captain Chen has outlined a path forward that we can work with. As the meeting adjourned, Chen couldn't help but feel the weight of history on her shoulders. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, one filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagination. The journey ahead would be challenging, but as she looked at the determination in the eyes of her fellow humans and the curious gazes of their new alien counterparts, she felt a spark of hope. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would humanity. But together, perhaps they could forge a future brighter than anyone had dared to dream. Diplomacy and demonstrations. The gleaming spires of Harmonix, the capital world of the Galactic Council, stretched into the purple-hued sky. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of the UES Resilience, now serving as Earth's diplomatic vessel, as it descended through the atmosphere. The ship's crew, along with a carefully selected team of Earth's brightest minds, watched in awe as alien craft of all shapes and sizes zipped through the air around them. It's like something out of a dream, Lieutenant Commander Raj Patil murmured, his eyes wide with wonder. Chen nodded, her expression a mixture of excitement and apprehension. A dream or a nightmare, depending on how these negotiations go. Remember, we're not just representing Earth anymore. We're representing all of humanity's potential. As the Resilience touched down on the designated landing pad, Chen couldn't help but reflect on the whirlwind of events that had led them here. In the months since the Galactic Council's intervention, Earth had been a hive of activity. Global leaders had debated endlessly about the terms of engagement with the wider galactic community. Scientists and engineers had worked around the clock, preparing demonstrations of human technology and ingenuity. Now, it was time to show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. The diplomatic team, led by UN Secretary-General Adebayo and flanked by Captain Chen and her crew, made their way to the Grand Conclave Chamber. The massive hall was filled with representatives from hundreds of alien species, each more bizarre and fascinating than the last. High Arbiter Sailor's voice resonated through the chamber. We call this special session of the Galactic Council to order. Today we welcome the representatives of Earth, a nascent spacefaring civilization that has demonstrated both great potential and great responsibility in their first encounters with the wider galaxy. Secretary-General Adebayo stepped forward, his rich voice carrying across the chamber. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, we come before you not as conquerors or supplicants, but as fellow seekers of knowledge and progress. Humanity has much to learn, but we also have much to offer. Over the next several hours, the human delegation presented a carefully curated showcase of their achievements. They demonstrated advancements in clean energy production, showcasing miniaturized fusion reactors that could power entire cities. They revealed breakthroughs in medical technology, including nanobots capable of repairing cellular damage and fighting disease at the molecular level. But it was when they reached the topic of space technology that the Council truly took notice. Captain Chen stepped forward, activating a holographic display. Distinguished representatives, what you are about to see is a demonstration of our Shimmer technology, the advanced cloaking system that allowed us to defend against the Zarkonian invasion. The hologram showed a replay of the Battle of Proxima Centauri, focusing on the moment when the Resilience seemed to vanish from existence, only to reappear behind enemy lines. A murmur rippled through the alien delegates. Krotak, the stone-like council member, rumbled in surprise. This technology, it defies our understanding of physics. How is this possible? Chen allowed herself a small smile. Our scientists theorize that it involves a localized manipulation of space-time, creating a bubble of altered reality around the ship. We're still exploring its full potential. Epsilon, the energy being, pulsed rapidly. Fascinating. Such technology could revolutionize space travel and exploration, but it could also be a terrifying weapon in the wrong hands. We're well aware of the potential dangers, Chen replied, which is why we're proposing the Joint Research Initiative. We believe that by working together with the Council races, we can refine this technology for peaceful purposes while developing safeguards against its misuse. The presentation continued, showcasing other human innovations, gravity manipulation devices, quantum communication systems, and even early experiments in controllable wormhole creation. As the demonstrations concluded, High Arbiter Tyler addressed the chamber. The humans have certainly given us much to consider. Their technological progress is unprecedented for a species at their stage of development. We must now deliberate on how best to integrate them into the galactic community. What followed was a heated debate among the council members. Some argued for immediately granting humanity full membership, eager to benefit from their innovations. Others advocated for caution, fearing the destabilizing effect such rapid advancement could have on the established order. Through it all, the human delegation stood firm, fielding questions and addressing concerns with a mix of diplomacy and candor. As the session stretched into its 14th hour, Secretary General Adebayo raised his hand to speak. Esteemed council members, if I may, we understand your concerns. Humanity's emergence on the galactic stage has been sudden and perhaps alarming. But consider this, our species has faced extinction-level threats multiple times in our history. Each time, we've emerged stronger, more united, and more determined to secure our future among the stars. He paused, looking around the chamber. We don't seek to disrupt the peace you've worked so hard to maintain. We seek to contribute to it, to add our voice and our innovations to the grand tapestry of galactic civilization. All we ask is for the opportunity to prove ourselves as worthy partners in this cosmic community. A hush fell over the chamber as the council members considered his words. Finally, High Arbiter Taylor spoke. Your words are wise, Secretary General, and your demonstrations have been illuminating. We propose the following. Humanity will be granted provisional membership in the Galactic Council, with full voting rights to be determined after a probationary period of 10 standard galactic cycles. The Arbiter continued, during this time, you will be expected to share your technological advancements with the Council, participate in joint research initiatives, and abide by our laws regarding interstellar conduct. In return, you will receive protection under the Council's defense treaties and access to the shared knowledge of our member races. Captain Chen felt a weight lift from her shoulders. It wasn't everything they had hoped for, but it was a start, a foot in the door of galactic society. Secretary General Adebayo bowed slightly. We accept your gracious offer, High Arbiter. Humanity looks forward to working alongside our new galactic neighbors for the betterment of all. As the session adjourned, Chen found herself approached by a diverse group of alien representatives, each eager to discuss potential collaborations and exchanges of knowledge. Captain, A serpentine being hissed excitedly. Your shimmer technology could revolutionize our deep space exploration efforts. Perhaps we could arrange an exchange program for our scientists. Before Chen could respond, a crystalline entity chimed in. And your gravity manipulation devices, they could solve our mining colony's biggest challenges overnight. As more and more aliens crowded around, each with their own proposals and questions, Chen couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and excitement. Humanity had taken its first real steps into the galactic community, and the possibilities seemed endless. Later, as the Resilience prepared for its return journey to Earth, Chen stood once again on the observation deck, watching the alien world below. Lieutenant Commander Patel joined her, a data pad in his hand. "Captain, you won't believe the number of cooperation requests we've received already. It seems like every race in the Council wants a piece of human innovation." Chen nodded, a thoughtful expression on her face. "It's an exciting time, Raj. But we must proceed carefully. We've been given an incredible opportunity, but with it comes great responsibility. We must ensure that our technologies are used for the betterment of all, not just humanity." As the Resilience lifted off, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of Earth, Chen couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. The galaxy had opened its arms to humanity, but the real challenges and the real adventures were just beginning. A new era for humanity. 10 galactic standard years had passed since humanity's induction into the Galactic Council. The Earth of 2084 was almost unrecognizable from the world that had first made contact with alien life. Gleaming cities stretched into the skies, their architecture a blend of human ingenuity and alien aesthetics. Spacecraft of various designs, from sleek human vessels to the organic shapes of alien allies, streamed in and out of orbital stations. Captain Sarah Chen, now Admiral Chen, stood in the newly constructed United Earth Space Command headquarters in Geneva. The room buzzed with activity as humans and aliens worked side by side, monitoring galactic affairs and coordinating joint operations. "Admiral," a young ensign called out, "we're receiving a priority transmission from the Galactic Council chambers." Chen nodded, her expression serious. "Put it through to the main screen." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the familiar form of High Arbiter Xalar. "Greetings, Admiral Chen. I trust this transmission finds you well." "High Arbiter," Chen replied with a respectful nod. "To what do we owe the pleasure?" Xalar's form shimmered slightly, a sign Chen had learned to recognize as excitement or anticipation. "The Council has reached a unanimous decision. Humanity's probationary period is officially over. You are to be granted full membership status, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails." A cheer went up around the command center. Chen allowed herself a small smile before responding. "That is excellent news, High Arbiter. On behalf of humanity, I thank the Council for their trust and support." "It is well earned, Admiral," Sailor continued. "Your species has shown remarkable adaptability and innovation. The joint research initiatives have yielded advances that benefit all Council races." However, the High Arbiter paused, its form shifting to a more somber hue. "We have not called merely to deliver good news. A situation has arisen that requires immediate attention." Chen straightened, her tactical mind already racing. "What's the situation?" "We have detected a massive energy signature approaching from beyond the galactic rim," Xalar explained. "It does not match any known civilization or natural phenomenon. Initial projections suggest it could pose an existential threat to all life in the galaxy." The command center fell silent. Chen's mind flashed back to that first encounter with the Zarkonians, to the battles fought and the lessons learned. "What do we know about this threat?" Xalar's form pulsed rapidly. "Very little, I'm afraid. Our long-range sensors can barely penetrate the energy field surrounding it. We need humanity's expertise, Admiral. Your species' unique approach to problem-solving and your advanced sensor technology may be our best hope for understanding and countering this threat." Chen nodded, her resolve hardening. You can count on us, High Arbiter. We'll assemble our best minds and coordinate with the Council's science teams immediately. As the transmission ended, Chen turned to her staff. All right, people, this is what we've been preparing for. Contact all of our research facilities. I want our top scientists and engineers on this yesterday. And get me the resilience. She may be a museum piece now, but I have a feeling we're going to need her one more time. Over the next few weeks, the galaxy mobilized like never before. The threat of annihilation proved to be a powerful unifying force. Races that had been bitter enemies for millennia now worked side by side. Humanity's shimmer technology was adapted to create massive sensor arrays capable of penetrating the mysterious energy field. Zarkonian weapons technology was combined with human AI systems to create a new generation of defensive platforms. Admiral Chen found herself at the center of it all, coordinating efforts between dozens of alien races and managing the largest fleet assembled in galactic history. The UES Resilience, retrofitted with the latest technology, once again served as her flagship. As the unknown entity entered the outer reaches of the galaxy, the combined fleet moved to intercept. Tensions were high as they approached the massive energy field that obscured their target. All ships, hold position, Chen commanded. Activate the shimmer-enhanced sensor arrays. Let's see what we're dealing with. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the energy field began to dissipate, revealing what lay behind it. Gasps of awe and terror filled the comm channels. What they saw defied easy description. It was a construct of impossible scale, a megastructure that dwarfed entire star systems. Parts of it seemed to phase in and out of reality, while others glowed with energies unknown to science. My God, Chen whispered. It's a ship the size of a galaxy. Before anyone could respond, a message boomed across all frequencies, bypassing all known forms of communication. Sentients of the Milky Way. The voice resonated in their minds. We are Ors. We to evaluate the progresses of our seeded worlds. Chen's mind raced. Precursors. Seeded worlds. The implications were staggering. The voice continued. Your combined efforts to meet USR. Unexpected. Explain your CLVs. Chen took a deep breath. Once again, she found herself speaking on behalf of not just humanity, but all sentient life in the galaxy. We are the united races of the Milky Way, she began, her voice steady. We have come together in the face of what we perceived as a threat, but we also come seeking knowledge and understanding. There was a pause that seemed to stretch for eternity. Then the voice spoke again, into your sting. Your unity in the face of the unknown was promise. Perhaps our experiment has yielded unexpected results. Over the next several hours, the truth was revealed. The precursors were an ancient race that had seeded life throughout the galaxy billions of years ago. They had returned to evaluate the progress of their creations, to determine if the life they had spawned was worthy of joining them in shepherding the universe. The tests had been subtle. The Zarkonian Empire's aggression, the Galactic Council's formation, even the appearance of the precursors themselves. All had been orchestrated to see how the younger races would react. And so, the precursor voice concluded, we find ourselves pleased. Your ability to unify, to innovate, and to efface the unknown with courage speaks well of you. The children of the Milky Way have grown up. As the precursors shared their vast knowledge and technology with their newly recognized offspring, Chen couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity, in its brief time on the galactic stage, had played a crucial role in bringing about this new era. The galaxy would never be the same. The challenges ahead were enormous, but so were the opportunities, as the combined fleet began its journey home, carrying with them the promise of a new age of exploration and discovery. Chen looked out at the star-filled void. "Well," she said to no one in particular, "I guess we really did prove how powerful human ingenuity can be." The stars seemed to twinkle in agreement, beckoning humanity and its allies towards a future filled with infinite possibilities.